your ancestors produced the first African god who gave forth of a virgin birth, the first goddess who gave forth an immaculate conception, the Sarah, the Son of God. They even tell you right here, little folk, reverence for the Egyptian goddess Isis and her son Horus, shown at your right, an Egyptian statue of the Ptolemaic period, was easily converted to the veneration of Mary and Jesus. The 4th century fresco at the far left in the Madonna and Child adorned in the Coptic monastery. They said it was easily converted. So let's see how easy it was converted. Dr. John G. Jackson, in his book, Christianity Before Christ, tells us, and even Church Ward tells us. Now, let's look at Horus. Horus had 2 mothers, Isis, the virgin who conceived him, Nefertiti, who nursed him. He was brought forth singly as one of the 5 brothers. Let's look at the life of Jesus. Jesus had 2 mothers, Mary, the virgin who conceived him, and Mary, the wife of Cleophas, who brought him forth as one of her children. Horus was the son of Seth, his father on earth. Jesus was the son of Joseph, his father on earth. Let's look at Horus now. Horus was with his mother, the virgin, until 12 years old, when he was transformed into the beloved Son, the God, as the only begotten of the Father in heaven. Jesus remained with the mother, the virgin, up until the age of 12, when he left her to be about his Father's business. From 12 to 30 years of age, there is no record in the life of Horus. From 12 to 30 years of age, there is no record in the life of Jesus. And Horus at 30 years of age became adult in his baptism by Nuke. Jesus at 30 years of age was made a man in his baptism by John the Baptist. Horus in his baptism made his transformation into the beloved Son, the only begotten of the Father, the Holy Spirit represented by a bird. Jesus in his baptism is hailed from heaven as the beloved Son and the only begotten of the Father, the God, the Holy Spirit, that is represented by a dove. That's why they tell you right here, it was easily converted to veneration to the Mary and Jesus. This is your goddess Aset, waiting for you to come back home. Yeah. Waiting for you to come back and pay homage to her. Yeah. This is where the story was copied and manipulated down through the ages. In fact, she was worshipped throughout Europe during what is called the Herculaneum worship of Isis. So even throughout Europe at one time, they worshipped her. And now she's waiting for you to come back. Waiting for you to come back and pay homage to her. Waiting for you to open up your African ancestral genetic memory bank and let your story come in. What makes the European Jesus and Mary more sacred than your ancestors, Madonna and Child?
Remember, true religion is a study of the rules and laws of nature and how nature works and how it interrelates with you, including the salts that build the body, including the working of the womb, how it operates in harmony with the moon and Venus, how it's counted to bring humanity here, how women bring back the old ancestors consciously. Do you understand how we solve earth problems? All right? That's real religion. All the other stuff is dogma. All right? Now, to keep this in mind, I'm not going to write this on here, so write this down. Anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphic is like, you know how like you have Ma'at and you have Ma'at with wings and the moon on their head, stuff like that? That's called anthropomorphic. You know how for children, they might have Elmo that talks and has eyes and walks up like a person. That's anthropomorphic. Are we clear? Like in the Bible, when it talks about Jesus, the Son of God, that's anthropomorphic. Or like if you look in the, say the book of Malachi that closes out the Old Testament, where it tells you the Son of Righteousness arising with healing in his wings, and it's spelled S-U-N. That's the Kabbalistic basis of the book. Jesus is actually the Son of God in the sky. But that's for adults. But for children, the anthropomorphic story is to give them the physical body that they can relate to, but when they grow up, you put away the childish things and you go to the science. That's the difference between religion and dogma. The anthropomorphic truth is what they don't tell people. That way, the revs and the imams and the rabbis can keep the adults in a child state and have them buy them nice clothes and a parish and a Lexus too.
Once you begin to understand religion, where it comes from, the whole story of Jesus is nothing more than a metaphor. There was no Jesus, there was no Abraham, no Isaac, no Jacob, there was no Moses, no King Solomon. None of those people in the Bible ever lived. These are metaphors for something far deeper